On Friday night, to get us started, we have the Chefs versus the Reds in New Zealand. We've got a couple of injuries to the Chiefs, probably a couple of guys that weren't going to be in the 23. You would think if they were going to run out a strong side. You got Peniassi, Mully limped off. Not sure yet what the injury was, but you'd suspect he's out. And Kalen Boucher come off the bench and then had to leave shortly after. So you would think the fact that he's come back off, he should have been finishing the game. So obviously an injury there as well. And then Josh Fluke, there'll be some doubt over him. He was pulled pre-game with, it sounds like a small quad tear. So best case could be a week or two injury, but I would think he's unlikely to play this one. No new returning players from either team other than maybe the rest. I would think maybe Nunkevel in to start at outside centre, although can you really move Danny Rona with the form that he's in?
You don't.
Hey, Bung, what do you reckon?
Well, moving Danny Rona.
Yeah.
Well, I'm playing against him this week, so I bloody hope so.
His form's outrageous, man. The guy's been a professional footy player for like a month.
Yeah, he Nsinka's got him, and I saw he got 80 odd last week, which is absolutely incredible. I honestly think they're going to, Nankivell with ALB is back. I'd like to see them start those two, to be honest with you. And Danny Rona can go back to, what was he, labouring?
Oh, mate. Look, the thing is, really...
Good start for any Aussie side for the year at this rate.
Yeah, true. He made the Wallabies.
Yeah. Now, we've got Ikitau. We'll take Ikitau. But look, there's only 4 weeks left. So, I mean, if they believe they need the experienced centre pairing for the finals, they've got to find a way to bring Nunkevel back in. So, I mean, if they're still starting Rona this week, it's a pretty big statement.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're right. Probably the biggest thing is they haven't had a settled centre pairing all year. They've got the Reds this week, followed by the Hurricanes and the Brumbies, 2 harder games, and then the Western Force, who I know one of the boys in our chat was calling that as the smoky upset for the year, was the Force to beat the Chiefs at home in Perth to finish the year off, just when the Chiefs are kind of resting their players for finals. But obviously, the Hurricanes and Brumbies are the big ones here for them. They want to finish on top of the table, so they're going to want to win all 4. I think they're going to have to try and build some combinations in their centre pairing. But there are a couple of other rests, and you'd think that this is the week that they're going to try and rest a few more of those players. Samasoni Takiaho and Damian McKenzie have both played 4 in a row, so this will be their 5th. They can play 5, but that means they're then not going to be available for the Hurricanes. So I reckon you might see both of those guys get a rest.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling. I think they can replace. Well, they can't replace DMAC, but they can fill the void with Gatland at 10 and Stevenson at fullback. And I think that's what they'll do here. Takiaho, he's had a couple rests throughout the year as well. It's probably the game to do it. Where the Reds, they just want to get everyone they can on. And no, Harry, Josh Ioane is not playing. He will not be involved. Stop getting excited about Josh Ioane.
He's still riding the pine in my fantasy team. I think this is his week.
It isn't, mate. You're dreaming. But look, the Reds, what's the issue with the Reds? I'll touch on it here, right? I think at points their set piece has struggled, but when they've used it, they've actually had a successful set piece. They haven't looked bad, attacking off it, but they start to get a little lost, a little flustered as phases build. They start to look for somebody else to kind of ignite something. And that tends to be someone like a Tupou or a Paisami or players that haven't been there in recent weeks. So I don't know when Paisami's back, Harry. He's got to be close, doesn't he?
Originally, I thought it was going to be last week, but there was something in the media about a week ago saying he was hoping to be back for finals. So that's a worry because that's a long MCL injury. He did it in round 5. So I'd say that means he's had a really big one, and he's not going to be back until maybe the very last week of regular season or something.
Yeah, that's a big hangover.
Yeah,
I actually thought the Reds type 5 was rubbish against the Tars, mate. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm with you, mate. The best game they had was against the Western Force, and it was because the Western Force had lost their All Wallabies front row. So I think that they've improved massively in this season, but their scrum is still a weak point. I think their lineout's improved a hell of a lot. But Brodie Retallick, if he's back this week, I think he's kind of 50-50 with his groin injury. geez, that's going to be a huge turning point to how that set piece looks. And I've got to say as well, the scrum from the Chiefs has been exceptional. Takiaho, helped by Aiden Ross and George Dyer, they've just been fantastic.
Neighbour, mate, I reckon we jump to you. The super sub goes first. What are you calling here? Who wins and by how much?
I'm not going to chuck it. Cargie loves to do the outliers and overliers and all that kind of bullshit, which is absolutely ridiculous on a 2-3 man pick. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard every time I listen to the podcast, just quietly. But Chiefs versus Reds, I actually think it'll be the Chiefs will go large at home. They'll go by 25.
Woohoo! That's a big one.
I can tell you the line, Nels, if you want a bit of help, is 19.5.
I don't need it. I don't need the line. I'm going to pick no matter how much I want to pick the Reds, it's not going to happen. I'm going to say the Chiefs by 23.
Yeah, I reckon you boys are right. It's going to be that line is short, mate. That is short. What'd you go? 25, didn't you, Nabung?
I did, yeah.
26. 26 it is.
Hi, Cargie. How you going over there?